Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrac Kole. This podcast is a conversation between two business partners, Joanne Kandrac and Kelly Kole. Join us for a lively conversation about all things interior design, from current projects, trade show experiences, worldwide travel, what's in, what's out, and all the challenges and wins they've had running their successful design business. Whether you're a seasoned interior designer, new to the industry, or a creative enthusiast, you will walk away with insightful information, newfound inspiration, and a smile on your face after listening to these two. And here they are, Joanne and Kelly.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is episode 159 of Inside Design with Kandrac Kole. And today we are talking about an introduction to AI, artificial intelligence, with our guest, Leslie Carothers. So if you haven't heard about it, or maybe you just don't want to hear about artificial intelligence technology and how it's transforming the landscape for not only design, but healthcare, retail, manufacturing, banking, and so many other industries, today's episode might be interesting for you. So we're going to dip our toes into the introduction to AI with our guest, Leslie Carothers. Leslie is the principal of Savour Partnership, which is a digital marketing agency for home furnishing brands and interior designers. She has been involved with the furniture and interior design business for 37 years. And as a good friend, she is brilliant at creating communities by working with major and emerging brands, as well as interior designers, VRBO designers, and kitchen and bath designers on digital strategy and PR, influencer marketing initiatives, and community engagement and management. She is a busy, busy girl. So she's an amazing keynote speaker and workshop provider on a wide range of topics. And she's always in the know about the latest and the greatest. So today's purpose is really just to talk about this big new scary thing called AI and just, see what it's all about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very interesting topic.
Yeah.
But before we dive in, we want to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Norwalk Furniture. As you know, we just returned from High Point Market, where we spent a lot of time at Norwalk. They are one of our go-to brands for their quality, custom-made furniture. We consciously went through each of the new fabrics with the president, Caroline Hippo. She is so brilliant at sourcing with her partner, Dixon Bartlett. Each of the fabrics, they have a particularly fabulous array of patterns and bright, fun fabrics to partner with performance fabrics, leathers, and textures like boucle and velvet.
Yeah.
At the end of one of our long days, we curled up on this sectional. It was the Neptune sectional.
Oh, it's heaven.
With Prosecco, and caught up with our new friends, Coco and Dash, for over an hour. It was so comfortable.
Awesome.
So check out Norwalk's website, and especially their 360 design tool to help visualize pieces. They're now shipping in 8 weeks.
Yes.
Yay,
Go Norwalk.
Yay.
So welcome, Leslie. We are excited to dive in.
Hello, everybody.
So before we get started, we just want to preface our conversation for those interior designers out there that are already very familiar with AI, that we just want to let the world know our belief is that AI will never, ever replace the interior designer. It'll be used to automate certain aspects of design, like generating layouts or color schemes, but it can never replace the creativity, the critical thinking, and the problem solving that is our world, that makes us valuable interior designers. But it is here to play, and it's not going anywhere. So I feel like for us to be successful entrepreneurs and small business owners and designers, we need to know whatever new technology is coming out, and we need to be aware of it. And so we lean on our friends like Leslie, who have already really become very knowledgeable about it and can talk to us about it.
Yeah. So it's so big and so almost scary, and there's so much about it. So can you kind of just summarize, Leslie, what is AI for the layperson?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. AI is, of course, stands for artificial intelligence, and it is a use of large learning networks to pull together millions and billions of data points to create words and imagery that can be used by anyone around the world for any purpose, both good and bad. But for designers, mostly it's good.
Well, that's a really good summary. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know there are.
Yeah, that's good. No, that's good.
There are several apps. I think MidJourney is one that you like. What are some others?
I think there's RoomGPT, there's GPT, Reimagine Home I was reading about.
Yes. And I want to say Business of Home has done a very good job of talking about some of these other apps. Most of you.
Yes, I was reading about that yesterday in preparation for this. That was a great article.
Yes. So they're really on top of this, as well as Interior Design Magazine, which is owned by Sandow. There's a lot of information there. So for any of you that are designers that are listening, if you really want to dive in, search for those Business of Home articles, search for those articles on Interior Design Magazine's site, so that you can just get an overview of what these publications are talking about and educating around. In addition, I have some articles on my own website, including a tutorial that is free for designers on how to use MidJourney, which has been very popular. So
that's
cool.
Where do they go to for that? Is it SavourPartnership.com?
Yeah, SavourPartnership.com/blog, and just look for the title that says a tutorial about MidJourney.
Okay. So, for example, let's say I have no idea what you're talking about, and I want to go play with it.
Yeah,
what do I do?
We climbed up. We just came out of
from under a rock,
and what's going on? What is this?
What do we do?
Yeah. What do we do?
So, by the way, that one, that's a good one to read too. But this one, How to Use MidJourney AI, a tutorial for interior designers. That is the one right there. That it's free article, and it takes you step by step exactly how to use MidJourney. So that is a great one for you. This one right here. So this first image that you're seeing.
So if you're on YouTube, you can see it on the screen. But go ahead, Leslie.
This first image in this blog post is one that I created using MidJourney, one of the first images I created. And if you just go all the way down quickly to the end of the blog post, that's where you'll see the step-by-step tutorial. This is another one I created using MidJourney. All of these images in this post were created using MidJourney. So this is simply to show you what's possible. And it's also part of what I'm teaching designers how to do in my MidJourney workshop that I'm doing with Annalee Waterman that you all have seen me talk about.
Okay, so when you say you created these, did you say create a room that has a green wall? Like, what did you say to create that image?
So the text prompts are part of what I teach in my workshop, but for that particular image, I think I simply said something like, design a 14 by 14 kitchen in green and black, a luxury kitchen in green and black with gold accents. I think that's really, because that was one of the first images I ever created before I really understood text prompting, and boom, that pops up. So one of the things about text prompting is that you really never know what you're going to get, and this is why it's great for ideation. And I want to, for all of you that are designers watching this, it's really great for quick ideation or conceptualization, or let's just call it brainstorming with a computer. Like, that's an easy way for everyone to understand. Like, you can just put something in there and see what pops up. And sometimes, you have a creative block. If you're a designer, you're just not feeling it. And so if you put in the words, you just see what pops up, and maybe that sparks something in you for a design that you need to do for a client, or even just having fun. So really, it's a way to have fun with ideation. Like, that's how I really see it. It's a way to have fun with ideation.
You wouldn't, this is not what you would, present to the actual client. You would need to, put in the correct sizes and the correct fabrics and all that. It's just kind of a quick, show me something.
It truly is miraculous if you think about it, that all of this information from the internet has all of a sudden been dumped in this one place, and that this is even capable. I mean, I think, of course, we turn to our design books and our travels and our social media for constant inspiration. And this is just another form of it. I can't imagine myself really like this replacing our skill set. But like you said, a simple tool for ideation to really, because we're working on 20 projects at a time. I mean, our brains are like dead.
Let's just say, for example, you want to present a navy blue kitchen cabinet to somebody who really can't even imagine it, and you're looking, on Houzz or different places, but they don't quite have what you want to show them. So let's just say you're thinking of doing a navy blue cabinet with a marble top with brass pendants. That way you can show them that that's kind of what a navy kitchen would look like. Mm-hmm. And they may say, oh, wow, I didn't expect, I love that.
Yeah.
So I think for things like that.
Absolutely.
When I was reading,
one of the main benefits is if you're working with a client, this takes 1 second to output. So you type it in. Okay, this is the important thing. Even for you, if you're going, or any designer watching, you guys are going to Houzz, you're going to Pinterest, you're going to wherever to pull in ideas for a client to look at. When you type this in, it takes 1 second or maybe 5 seconds sometimes for it to have an output for you. So you could actually meet with a client, and this is up to all of you to decide, but the client says, this is what I want. And you all know that often clients think what they want. They don't have the vocabulary that you do, right? So they've described it. Yeah. So you can show your listening. And within 10 minutes, you could actually send them an image or two and say, does this look like anything like what you have in your mind? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it makes your process that much faster. And that increases your productivity and increases your revenue and makes a real impression on the client.
The scary thing about it is they do look so real. It's not really like a rendering that looks very fake. They look really real.
Well, this goes hand in hand with our most recent episode on the skill set of the interior designer, because you have to, this really kind of adds to your salesmanship, right? You gotta know how to twist and turn this technology to your benefit, because it could be a runaway train of, images and explanations and so forth. But if you maybe you curate some images ahead of time to, express yourself or an idea before you meet with the client, kind of thing.
Yeah, because you can show fabrics and finishes and things, but it isn't the same as seeing the room as a whole. So maybe from that standpoint, you're giving someone an idea.
Yeah.
And then somebody else may think, well, I don't want the people to think that I'm not doing my job. Mm-hmm. Like there could be some negative connotations. How do you combat that, Leslie?
So I think it is exactly what you just said, Kelly. You have to position it in the beginning using your sales skills with your client. And if you're a homeowner listening to this, which you might be since this lives online, right? And homeowners will be able to listen to this podcast. If you're a homeowner, it's important to understand that this isn't what a designer like Kelly and Joanne does. So if you're the homeowner listening, this is for ideation. This is for a designer to be able to give you a quick idea and to say, yes, I like that, or no, I don't like this look at all. That's not what I was really thinking. This does not replace in any way the true skill set of an interior designer in terms of their ability to ideate themselves and to execute, most importantly. Like AI can never execute on a design or problem solve or do anything. This is just fun. And it's a quick way to get some ideas out there so that you can have a discussion about it. So I want to talk about what you're showing on the screen right now. Is that okay, Kelly and Joanne?
Sure. Yeah.
So for any of you that are homeowners listening, what you're seeing with these apps, and they're definitely going to proliferate everywhere, this is about buying furniture. That is not what real design is. So real design, if you're a homeowner listening, isn't about buying furniture from the same 8 lifestyle retailers. And unfortunately, I'm going to be honest, our industry has done a terrible job, in my opinion, of educating you, the homeowner, about what real design is. But real design is about setting up flow, rhythm, harmony, balance, scale, and perspective through a flow of rooms to create a sense of well-being that's customized exactly to your taste so that you will feel an elevated sense of life in your home. So what you're looking at right here,
said. We need to write that down on our website. Go ahead.
That'll be
That's what we do in a nutshell.
That's our soundbite.
Yeah,
there we go.
That is our value right there. Yeah.
So I do think it's really important. I mean, I'm only one tiny voice out there, but all of us. So if you're a homeowner listening, I do think it's important for every designer listening to help educate you as to what real design is. These apps make it easy for you to potentially buy some furniture for your home. So if that's what you're wanting to do, great. And I know that if you're a homeowner listening, not all of you can afford to hire a designer. So most of you probably can't. But there are lots of ways to hire a designer. For instance, lots of designers offer 1 or 2 hour consultations now by Zoom to get design dilemmas solved. So that's one thing you can do if you're a homeowner listening. But this whole thing about AI is really, it's fun, it's easy, but it's not real design. And I think that's kind of what's getting mixed up in the world out there, even amongst designers themselves, feeling that, will this replace us? So I think for designers listening, you have to really understand. I think it is important to start to discuss, and even in your blogs and newsletters, what real design is, so that together as an industry, we educate all homeowners / consumers out there the difference between, getting a floor plan and buying some furniture versus what real design actually is.
I kind of look at it, to put a positive spin on it, I kind of look at it a little bit like, the typical luxury designer who's had years and years of experience like us. We don't really love HGTV and the reality shows, right? They're not real either. But those shows over the years have created a tremendous interest in interior design, in the home, in how we feel in our homes and so forth, which was then exacerbated by the pandemic and everybody living in their beige blob prisons. And so I look at this as just another way to engage the CPA, the doctor, the homeowner who has no skill, no interest whatsoever, and have them have fun.
Even a design enthusiast.
Yeah.
It's like,
what can I do?
See, I'm pregnant. I could see some ideas for the nursery.
Yeah.
And then they might pop up, and that would be so great. And they could either try to implement that themselves or call a designer and say, this is the look I'm going for. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. It's cutting edge technology, right? So there are still lots of bugs out there to be worked through and all that. I was reading that in the Business of Home article that, it's still
just kind of on a little bit of a side note where the chat GPT and some of the things like Writer, are out there really saved me, because a few days ago, we had an interesting situation with a client that we had to be very careful about our wording.
Yes.
And so I couldn't.
And she didn't lean on me for the first time.
And she's usually
ever.
the one. So I
was like, I'm useless now.
I can ditch her now because
literary skills
figured it out myself. And so I literally just kind of typed very quickly what I wanted to say, but it wasn't as eloquent as I would have liked to have been. And literally within 10 seconds, it was beautifully written. I had to change a couple of things, but it just helped me. So I'm thinking, for people that in business that have to, write, that aren't that good. How many designers are writing blogs and writing social media posts that don't really have the words? So I think, there's so many other ways that it's just helpful.
It is so helpful, and it's such a time saver. And that's where it comes down, from a revenue standpoint, productivity. The more time you can save, the more time you have to spend on things that actually generate revenue. So it's revenue generation, it's fun, and it's very fun. And I want to say that, alongside AI comes, the whole concept of the metaverse, which is what I talk about, in my workshop with Anna Lee. But these two things together create an incredibly wow experience for any client. And I want to say to everyone listening, Anna Lee is an interior designer and a metaverse architect, and she actually has created a design office in the metaverse of Spatial where she meets with her real world clients. It is a wow.
Wait a minute. Say
that again.
I think I know what you just said, but say it again.
So
Yeah.
So I'm going to pitch my workshop, but I do have a workshop, and we do these frequently, coming up on June 1st. Anna Lee Waterman is an interior designer based out of Dallas, Texas. She's also a metaverse architect. She has created a real design office for herself in the metaverse of Spatial, and she meets with her real world clients in her metaverse office. And the experience that she creates for them there is such a wow that they just fall in line really with whatever she suggests. And
so is her real body in there? Is she a cartoon? Like what?
Not cartoony. It's not cartoony.
Not
she
cartoony.
is meeting.
Okay.
She is me. No, that's it.
Get ready, people. It's coming.
This is what I'm saying.
Don't freak out.
This is hard to grasp.
Yeah.
Like, so.
This is why you need seriously to come to our workshop, because we take you through it. You're in it with us. So you can see, even yourselves, exactly what this looks like. So you really understand, like, there's a lot of people out there that have never been in. So they don't like Roblox is cartoony, but that's just one metaverse. The metaverse of Spatial, there's many metaverses, but the metaverse of Spatial is very realistic. And you can put a real 3D rendering in the metaverse of Spatial. So your clients are there as avatars. The architect can be there, your builder can be there, your contractor can be there, and you can be there. And you are talking, you can video talk, and you can text talk within a 3D space. And you don't have to have an Oculus headset. If you want to, though, and if your clients are up for it, they can wear an Oculus headset, and then all of you are really walking around the entire real rendered space in real time. It is a next level wow experience for a luxury designer to deliver. And if you want to attract your next generation clients, every luxury fashion brand is experimenting with metaverse activations. That's what they're called, metaverse activations now.
Yeah, I've heard the fashion industry is really
totally.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Yeah.
Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Burberry, you name it, Nike. I mean, that's not, but they're all there. Our industry is not there. So I'm doing my little part with these workshops to try and help. You know, homeowners are welcome to attend, but really to try and help designers and furniture retailers and manufacturers see what. So the younger high net worth consumer is being taught by the fashion brands how to communicate with a brand through these activations. You see,
it's going to be a very interesting evolution to me, because being that we are in such a tactile industry, we want to touch and feel and see and experience and smell. And so to incorporate this, which I'm sure it is. I mean, I remember the day when I was talking to my husband going, what's a blog? I don't get it. And then when we started the podcast, I'd never even listened to a podcast before. So
I think there's an element, a little element of this is a little bit scary, you know?
Well, I think that anytime, I mean, that's one of the big conversations about AI and all this, right? Is that whenever you have such a massive dump of information that can be manipulated in so many ways, that if it gets into the wrong hands, then that's a little scary. And I think that's definitely something that's to come. And as this, like I said, this is evolving.
Maybe we need our podcast studio in the metaverse.
Seriously?
All kinds of little avatars sitting around talking to us.
I don't know.
That is a great idea. And what people do,
Here we go.
But what you can do from a publicity standpoint with that, you see, is priceless. So
we need something new to do.
Oh boy, Russ, you better up your game here, buddy, because your production services just went in a new direction.
See, the thing is that all of us that are older generally don't realize how many people that are high net worth play video games. Think about this.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Video gaming is larger than movies and TV and music combined as an industry. These activations take that person who's used to interacting that way and give them access to brand information, including yours, Kelly and Joanne, or any designer watching this. Or if you're a homeowner watching this and you have a business, you. So this is important, that you're communicating with people, not the way that you want to communicate with them, you see, but the way they want to communicate with you. And this is what fashion brands get and what our industry has yet to get. It doesn't mean that tactility will be taken out of anything, but this is the kind of experience that this younger high net worth consumer wants to have with a brand. They want to be able to have fun with the brand while at the same time, then all of a sudden, okay, yes, you're meeting me in my home or you're sending me these samples or whatever you're doing. It's really all about accelerating their ability to have fun. And I think that's a word that we miss in design. Like, what's going to make this fun? We talk all about the experience, right? Like, that is I use it all the time, but it's such an overused word. So the next level is fun. Video gaming is fun. It is community. And this is another really important thing that people don't realize. When you're in a metaverse activation, you're in a community. You can invite anyone in.
Yeah.
And
Have you ever played a VR game before? Put the big no. It's pretty cool. I mean, you are in a whole new world, and I look at my nephew and the 18 and 19-year-olds that I know, boys especially, and that's their community. That's how that's their happy place. That's where they experience everything outside of school. And it's amazing.
Think about
it is.
When you think about the real thing that's going on, dopamine and serotonin are getting activated when we get pleasure and we have fun. And younger people, no matter high net worth younger people as well as low net worth, whatever it is, but that's how their pleasure centers get activated. So we need to connect with that as an industry. Fashion gets it. We don't yet, but hopefully just by even having these lovely conversations, you all will start to see what I'm seeing out there.
Yeah.
So if
I heard it here first, people.
So if I wanted to see an example of what fashion is doing, how can I see that? How can I find that?
You can go, really you can Google, just Google, what is Gucci doing in Decentraland? So we talk a lot about this in our workshop. So I want to say, to be really, fair to me too, but not fair, but I want to say that take one of our workshops. They are $149. We deliver them pretty much monthly, and we will go through everything that you need to know. It's a pretty wow experience for anyone that takes them. Like, their eyes are usually open so wide. They just had no idea. So if you can just
fascinating.
Take your skeptic hat off for a minute, and just open yourself to learn. You don't have to, I want to say, you don't have to do anything, okay? You can hate it all, and that's fine with me. I don't have anything to sell that's related to the metaverse or AI, except for doing these little workshops. But other than that, nothing to sell you afterwards. Like, there's no anything for
I think it's important to just be aware of the technology happening in our universe that is changing the world right now, whether you like it or don't like it or don't want to use it or want to take advantage of it. You should at least know about it.
You need to be in the know.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be... Yeah.
So, wow, that is just fascinating. And now we've got everybody's head spinning, and you all have to have some homework to do. But we like to, we like to talk about anything that's affecting our industry. And this is for sure, the talk of the town right now. So, Leslie, we appreciate you, helping us to.
Such a good steward for our industry.
You are a very good steward.
Thank you.
We
so
really
much
appreciate it.
I appreciate
Thank you. Before we end, we have our quotes, and I think it's appropriate, given that we just witnessed the coronation this past weekend, to tell you this funny quote. If you haven't already seen it, it's pretty funny. You're never too old to achieve your dreams. Prince Charles is 74, and he just got his first job. And that's from our friends at Stash Birmingham Beham on Instagram. Yep.
Okay, serious quote. Make your bedroom a sanctuary, your own little retreat. It's like putting your oxygen mask on first before assisting other passengers. And it's vital for renewing your soul. And that's from designer Janie Molster.
She has a new book out, y'all, called House Dressing, and I purchased it at the Curry.
House Dressing or House Stressing?
Dressing.
Okay.
Dressing. Did I say stressing?
It sounded like House Dressing.
House Dressing. that I bought at the Curry and Company showroom at High Point, and I met her, and it was fantastic. I have so many design books. I don't always read them cover to cover, but I read this one, and I loved everything that she points out, and I love her designs. So, yeah.
Leslie, thank you so much for joining us. You are such a wealth of information. We highly recommend you join her #DesignWealth Facebook page, which is
another source.
Yes, a business-to-business group primarily for interior designers. And thank you to our friends at Norwalk for sponsoring this episode and for helping our designs be spectacular.
Yes. So check us out at Kandrac-Kole.com. We are the same on Instagram at Kandrac Kole.
Okay.
And
any announcements? It's your idea to have announcements.
No, we're getting ready to go to Guatemala in June to build another house for the poor and support 3 orphanages. So we will be talking all about that coming up soon on a new episode.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
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 Join Joanne and Kelly for a new episode every other Friday as they continue to explore the nuances of the interior design business with the goal of informing, inspiring, and entertaining their listeners. See their work at Kandrac-Kole.com and engage with them on Facebook and Instagram at Kandrac Kole.